exploded to left side. Cappelletti on the move.
Now, if you watch Cappelletti, he makes a quick move here and actually accelerates. He breaks the tackle because he drops his shoulder, tries to get a straight arm out there, but he accelerated through that hole.
Also some arm tackling there. You're not going to bring a back down like that with arm tackling.
I agree with that, Coach.
Well, Cappelletti brings the ball across to the Viking 38-yard line. To the left, Waddy right. And a pass to Jesse on the right side, and Ron Jesse makes the reception, and riding him out of bounds is the rookie, John Turner.
Hayden's thrown every time on first down this drive and completed every one.
And you know something, Coach, when you talk about the Ram receivers, they're really great. When you watch Jesse there, he was fighting for that first down marker. In other words, he knew he wanted the first down.
Well, he picked up 8.
The players don't do that.
No, he's a good athlete. He can jump, and Rams have excellent receivers.
Yeah, they make the right moves, make the right kinds of attempts at the catches, you know.
They spot the ball just inside the 30. So it's second down and a long one for Pat Hayden. And he's blown up in the air again. And a great juggle and drop by Terry Nelson. We were all set to say a great catch by the tight end, but he juggled and let it get away.
Benny, the Vikings are about 70-75% a zone team, and this is a pattern. It's a short corner that you throw to your tight end, to the Y man, and it's open against the zone defense.
You know, Nelson really had that ball, and he took that one look. It was a great catch he had. He took that one look and dropped it.
Gary has had a bad ankle, also a groin injury. You can see 6 minutes to go to the half. The Rams scoring on a pass from Pat Hayden to Willie Miller, and Minnesota had a 42-yard field goal in the first quarter by Rick Danmeyer, and the Rams are leading 7-3. Pat Hayden at the controls for Los Angeles, trying to move them to next week's meeting with the Dallas Cowboys.
Chasing bad guys is not so glamorous outside of the movies. You find you spend a lot of time on stakeouts eating cold pizza, and you'd rather be someplace else having a cold beer. For me, that'd be one of these. Light beer from Miller, just in case I gotta move fast. See, Light's got a third less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling, and the taste is just great. Ain't that right, Muggsy?
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Presenting Ford Pinto with a new design for '79. New up here, new back here. New in here with more standard features than last year. AM radio, rear window defroster, tinted glass, steel-belted radials, and more. And just look. Foreign exchange rates have helped drive up the sticker prices of a comparably equipped Datsun 210 and Toyota Corolla to as much as $1,000 higher than a Pinto. Compare Pinto. It may be the best small car buy in America today. See the '79 Pinto at your Ford dealer.
The CBS Wednesday night movie.
Make love.
For their love to survive will take some kind of miracle. Wednesday night on CBS.
The Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum bathed in sunshine, and a reminder at halftime, the NFL Today with Brent Jane and Herb. We'll stay with us.
And Jimmy the Greek.
And Al Davis. 3rd and 1 on the 29 of Minnesota, and the Rams leading 7-3, trying to strike for more. Hayden giving it to Cappelletti, who almost fumbled it.
Almost,
He
yeah.
juggled and held onto it. Fred McNeil hammering him.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. You know, Cappelletti, now watch the takeoff, because if he didn't have good hands, that ball would have been fumbled.
Yeah, Hayden didn't put it in there.
And you see, when you talk about the 2 Ram backs and no fumbles basically out of them, you're talking about winning games, because a lot of games are lost through fumbles.
It's a 4th down call now with less than a yard. They're going to measure to see. The crowd does not think that it was their first down, and they were hollering go for it. But let's see whether they have to even gamble. Yes, they do by that much.
That was right.
That's Fran Tarkenton studies. And the crowd hollering go. What would you do, Coach? Would you go or go for the field goal?
The crowd always tells you to go for it. If you listen to the crowd, you're going to be in trouble.
In other words, there's no such thing as a crowd being fired.
You got to do what you believe.
So would you go for it, Coach?
Yeah, don't duck the
Would you go for it?
I'd go for it in this situation. Yeah,
So would I.
it's inches. It's inches.
4th and inches for Hayden. Will it be Bryant or Cappelletti carrying? It will be Cappelletti. And he's got it. Capoletti ran into James White, among others, the big guy out of Oklahoma State. But Capoletti picked up the first down.
Yes, he did run into White, but I'll tell you, it's the way he ran into White. I'm always talking about attitude. Good handoff by Hayden. Now watch this physical attitude. There's a man that's got his head is bounced back. He's pushing his legs, his feet, they're still pushing. He's backwards. That's physical attitude.
First and 10 on the Viking 27. Willie Miller in motion to the right. Jesse's already over there. Hayden, under a little rush, takes one and tries to throw it to Capoletti. To Cullen Bryant, and they will call it just an incomplete pass.
That could have been called, Vinny. That could have been called intentional grounding.
Well, I tell you,
he's rushed here to avoid a sack. Watch him now. Watch him just throw it backhanded there.
So to us, Coach, it is intentional grounding, but there was a man in the vicinity.
Well, there's a man downfield
in the
away.
vicinity.
Yeah, but he had
Cullen
Bryant.
Very little chance. So.
Bryant was about 5 minutes away by phone.
Yeah, that's why the officials didn't call it.
And by the way, the fellow who was
ball.
putting the pressure and who tackled Pat Hayden is 41-year-old Jim Marshall.
Had a birthday yesterday.
Yeah, great family man, too. Good guy.
Second and 10 on the Viking 27. Hayden giving to Bryant, and he is dragged down. The first man to hit him was Doug Sutherland, and then Holloway made sure that he didn't go anywhere.
They ran that fast trap again that was successful before.
A look at tight end Terry Nelson, 5 years out of Arkansas A&M. Watch him, number 83, trying to get off the line. And look at there, arms around him. That's Matt Blair taking him to the dance. Nelson saying, "Will you let me go?"
That's called using your hand.
And ahead. Hayden setting up and throwing down a little short. Intended for Ron Jesse, who was trying to come back. He slipped, and Charles Goodrum and Chuck Foreman doing a little cheerleading on the sideline.
Well, they had a little better rush that time. Hayden setting up. Delivery sack. Better pressure on him that time.
The ball is on the Viking 26-yard line. Frank Corral will be kicking out of a hole by Nolan Cromwell. Remember, Corral, the NFL's #1 scorer with 118 points, and he has a point after today. He's 29 out of 43. The spot from the 32, and it's a 42-yard field goal by Frank Corral.
What a year he's having.
Brilliant. You know, he kicked 4 field goals in a game 3 times against Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. What a rookie.
He should probably be player of the year on the Rams if you talk about consistency in games that
So it
were
is
won.
10-3 Los Angeles. 4:25 to the half.
1934, and for miles